Hi, I'm Dr. Philip Macmillan, and as I continue with this journey looking at embalmers clots, I've realized that you need to find innovative ways to keep the focus on it until the research is done. That's a long process and something that I'm committed to continually raising awareness. And so, what we're doing now in collaboration with Lumientia, we are now taking specific technology to build out concepts around how to share ideas around the science. And what I want to know from you is, does this look right? Does this look as though the right direction that we should take? That's where your input could be quite valuable. So I'm going to share with you a short clip from this video that was made by Lumientia, and we've been collaborating in our newsletter and so on. And I want you to take a look at it, a short clip where we are looking at why experts in the 1860s ignored the advice about washing hands. It seems incredulous now that they would. But here is the story about what happened and how I link this to embalmers clots. Let's listen, and you tell me, remember, put in the comments what you think about how this looks and whether or not this is a style and strategy we can use going forward to help to bring ideas across. Let's go.
Probably not just one thing, it's likely multifactorial, a combination of these things, maybe others we don't even know about yet, all interacting. What else could cause such widespread, strange clotting? It's a big question.
It sounds incredibly complex, which maybe leads to the next point. This feeling of, well, why isn't there more mainstream investigation happening, given how widespread the reports seem to be from embalmers?
That is a puzzling aspect, isn't it? You have these consistent reports from professionals seeing something drastically different than they were. Why wouldn't that trigger an immediate large-scale scientific response? It's a disconnect that, understandably, raises concerns for a lot of people.
It really makes you wonder, and this is where that historical parallel you mentioned comes in, right? Dr. Ignaz Semmelweis. Can you remind us of his story? Why is it relevant here?
Yeah, Semmelweis. It's such a powerful and frankly tragic story. It really shows how hard it can be for new observations, either life-saving ones, to get accepted if they challenge the status quo.
This was back in the 1840s.
Yes, Vienna. He worked in a big maternity hospital. There were two wards. In one, run by doctors and medical students, huge numbers of women were dying from something called childbed fever, a terrible infection after giving birth. But in the other ward, right next door, run by midwives, the death rate was much, much lower.
Well, same hospital, different outcomes. What did he figure out?
He looked closely at the differences, and he noticed the doctors and students often came directly from doing autopsies on women who had died from infections, and then they still examined women in labor, often without washing their hands properly.
The midwives didn't do autopsies.
Oh, no. So he thought they were carrying something. He didn't know about germs yet, not really, but he hypothesized these invisible cadaverous particles were being transferred on their hands.
Makes sense.
So he made a rule in his ward. Everyone had to wash their hands thoroughly with a chlorine solution before touching patients.
Did it work?
Dramatically. The death rate in his ward plummeted, dropped right down to the same low level as the midwives' ward. The evidence was right there.
Incredible. So they hailed him as a hero.
Well, you'd think so, but no, he faced huge resistance, ridicule even, because his findings basically implied that the doctors themselves are causing the death. It challenged their practices, their status, and the whole idea of invisible particles causing disease was still pretty radical then. It shows how established beliefs can sometimes just block out new evidence, even compelling evidence.
What happened to him? It sounds like it didn't end well.
It didn't. He was basically pushed out, lost his job. His work was dismissed for years. He ended up in a mental asylum and died there. It took decades for hand washing to become standard practice. Think of all the lives lost in the meantime.
That's just tragic, and you see echoes of this now.
Well, you see the pattern, don't you? 5-line observers then, and it was Semmelweis seeing the data.
So this is the kind of idea we have to try and see if we can capture really important concepts in terms of taking the science in a way that people can interpret it. So that's just one example of what it is that we are trying to do. But this case here demonstrates how hard it is to bring through new thinking, especially when the people who have to acknowledge it would have to acknowledge fault as well. That is really, really very difficult. And what it showed historically is that that doctor had to die before it was actually accepted down the line that hand washing made such a huge difference. The problem that the scientific community faces now is that the clots don't seem as though they're going away. And as more and more people become aware of what is happening, it becomes harder and harder to not only ignore it, but to discount it. So we have huge challenges ahead, but as the lessons of history taught us, it's likely that this will not come without a fight. And that's why, based on what I am seeing, my responsibility is to continue to ask the question, bring the science in different ways, cause it and make it difficult for people to ignore it so that thorough scientific analysis can be done. There may be tremendous things that we could learn from this, but because so many are afraid of touching the narrative, it means that the science has been ignored. So please, as I said, put your comments in as to what you think, and we'd gladly take any recommendations. Not everybody likes it, but some do. And so we will continue to try and explore the science in this way. And so before I leave, not final reminder, but just a reminder for our upcoming conference. And that's on the 31st of May. Please remember to register. The link is in the description. Join us as we continue to explore the science. And I'll leave you with this reminder and promotion for the conference.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shankara Cherry. I'm a general practitioner from South Africa and a frontline doctor, and a panelist on the Hidden Drivers of Post-COVID Dysfunction conference. I look forward to seeing you all at the conference.
Hello, my name is Brigitte König. I'm from Germany, and I'm a professor of microbiology and infectious diseases. And I look forward to see you at the conference.
Hello, my name is Marcus Clot. I'm the founder and director of the Freezer Center, the world's first purpose-built long COVID and post-vac and chronic illness clinic in Cyprus. And I'm looking very much forward to see you at the conference.
Hello everyone, I'm Risha Pretorius. I'm from Stellenbosch University. I'm a professor in the Department of Physiological Sciences, and I will be sharing some of our insights into microclotting and vascular health in long COVID, and I'm looking very much forward to seeing you at the conference.